Address that one first.
All right. Just to be clear, we are not against rental. Right? Now, first of all, the president is very clear in his mind about, so we are not confused about the 500,000 we're talking about creating new homeowners or home ownership. Why? Because he has very strong views that the path out of poverty begins with ownership. Right? Because that property that you get, you can borrow some money. If you're a mama mboga, you can triple your produce. Right? So this is just not about four walls and a roof. It is slightly much more than that. So if we can be able to do that, that is great. But while doing this, on the rental side, we will take some of those suggestions, and then, by the way, the development framework guidelines are on our website. Kindly download them and talk to us. We are very open. In fact, I was called the private sector PS the other day. Me, I'm pro-private sector. All right? We want your ideas because you've done it before. So, Kunyiha here and all the other developers, the rental market also will, as we stabilize the home ownership market, even the rental market is also going to come apart, right? Because now, you as developers are going to learn how to produce for the majority of Kenyans. At the moment, you're only producing for 3% of the market. So that is important. Let me say that the $15 billion or the $13 billion, which is the price ticket for these affordable housing, is not going to be paid. It's not debt. So this is a completely, bankrupt protected off-balance sheet structure. All right. So it will add not a single shilling to our national debt. All right. That is very important. Just has a minute. I'll ask him to explain a little bit about how are we going to keep your money in circulation. You know, we have got asset-backed securitization, we've got mortgage-backed securitization. So as soon as I have a house, which is an asset, and I have someone occupying it, meaning that I have future cash flows, we sell that down to the same pension funds, right? And the money keeps on growing so that the 10 billion is not depleted, so that we can onboard, whatever. But if you want to, Chelsea can give something better. You know, my friend, former senator of Mombasa, and a very good friend of mine, and you very encouraging. You know, I couldn't have said it any better. First of all, we are a very litigious society, and that's why this contribution, we have tried to massage it to accommodate as many people. You know, before, we had put a cap at 100,000 and below. And you saw the article the other day on Business Day, now there's no more cap. So, because we're being taken to court, where you're forcing me to contribute, and then I don't have whatever. And so, if we stay in courts, we are not going to build one house. So that's why we've accommodated that. In terms of how long, first of all, I'm encouraging you, register in the first window. Yeah? Boma, is it Boma yangu or Boma langu? Boma yangu at what? .go.ke. Naona mtu ambaye ameenda kwa hiyo website. Visit bomayangu.go.ke, download the documents, download the development framework guidelines, download the regulations for this fund. Everything is on the portal, right? That is the first point. Then register. Once you have registered, we will go into what is called direct negotiations. And direct negotiation, my friend, as long as you have land, it has title, we will do a bit of KYC on you because we are required to do that. Then within a month, we are signing. Every month, and I think this is from August, I was supposed to be doing 10,000 houses a month. Now it's January, I have not built one. So if you can give me even one house. Someone told me, you know, if you had built one house, affordable house, at least the president would be saying 400,900.
Time to go.
$500,000 since December 12, 2017. I think I've addressed
Yeah, and there is a question there. So, two questions. There's Mr. Rupert over there with a question. Yes, and Gerald, when they come back next, don't forget. So, there's you, there's Gerald, and there is... I need only one more person. So, yeah, let's go with the lady. Yeah, so...
Hello, I'm Rupert Lipton. I know very little about housing and even less about finance, so I've done my best to follow some of what you've said, but my question is therefore very simple. And picking up on what you discussed about infrastructure, and it just seems to me that I hadn't appreciated that I knew about, even raw terms about this project. It's pleasing to hear, which this is about mobilising private sector resources to try and solve this problem. But if government has a job in any society, it's to provide infrastructure. And clearly infrastructure is desperately needed before a lot of the problems can be solved. You've talked about this large sums of money being granted, gifted to the counties, and it's great to hear that this isn't just a solution to problems in Nairobi. So the simple, direct question is, of that money going to the counties, what percentage do you think is going to be stolen? What percentage is going to be stolen?
He went there. He actually went there. Okay, but that's well. We are in Kenya. We cannot pretend that we don't have such challenges. The next question is over here. We need 3 questions because we're going to wrap up. Thank you. Well, she's reading from a book. Can you believe that?
Yes, I have my questions written down.
All right.
One, I mean, still to the point of looking at the sort of the social mission behind this project. In terms of the guidelines around construction, have you considered the need for, besides the hard infrastructure, the social infrastructure around avoiding these places becoming ghettoized? Yeah. So what's happening around probably the developments being not only, mixed use, but also mixed income, right, to ensure that that happens. On the issue of, on the mortgage refinance company, I wanted to understand, you talked about the funds being for on-lending, but when I think of refi, I'm thinking about securitization. And you talked about the 7% loan. Is it also a 30-year mortgage, or is it a shorter tenure for that bracket? Lastly, just what's the minimum parcel size for one to engage in window 1 as a private sector?
What is it?
Minimum land parcel size for somebody to engage. Thanks.
I'm Gerald. My question, I've got 2 questions. One has to do with construction technology. Seeing that we are having a lot of new technologies coming up. Government has National Housing Corporation, EPS panels and all. But when you look at cost per square meter, using this new technology vis-a-vis our traditional ones, these new technologies are turning out to be expensive. How is government or your ministry going to tackle that? Because it is very key if you are to give affordable housing and you have to use some of these technologies. The second question I have is, you mentioned about Kibera and a pilot project that you have, government has done. I think it was flats which were put up that were to be made affordable housing. And you said about the amount of money that those people are paying to stay there and the duration that they have to repay. I remember a few years back, I think it was GTZ through the Catholic Church. They went and did something in Madare North, Madare 4E, and that project is still there. It is a slum. They basically organized some houses there, and still the rents were down and the cost of construction was down. My problem with Kibera and it is something that also was done in Majengo, is that many people who took those houses moved out and rented those houses to other people at a higher cost.
That's what they do.
And they're still paying government. So for me, I don't see that it defeats the purpose of such.
Okay, thanks, Jared. But also that you can ask him questions outside of this forum because we are going to wrap up now. So to answer those questions, and then we are going to give you a time to comment on those questions and then wrap up, and the same for you. So, Mr. PS.
You know, on the issue of how much of that money going to county is going to be stolen, hey?
Yeah.
Zero.
Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking.
We can only say that, you know, I hope that, you know, most Kenyans know that this is also scourge called corruption, and the fight against it is something that all of us must join in, and also this issue of electing people that you know are going to steal, because that is our problem. Yeah? And I want to leave it there, because if I say something more than that, I'll be in trouble with some of my friends, some governors who have issues with. So, but you know, in all fairness, we're already having challenges on that, on some of that money, because while we say it's a conditional grant.
Mr. PS, even before the house is built, you already have challenges.
Yes, because they know that they cannot transfer that money from the special accounts to the general account, and some of them already did, and they fired their CECs for finance who refused to do it.
Oh.
So, but tukona dawa yao. In the next disbursement, some of those counties are not going to get money. All right. So that is the only thing that we can do, and hope that as a society we are going to change. Excuse me. On the issue of the construction guidelines. The social infrastructure is part of it. So this is what I did here was is it now 47 or 67 slide presentation, right? So I'll encourage you to download the presentation and go through the development philosophy. So let me just say this because I think it's important. Not only are we going to build these 500,000 houses, we are going to build a green. We are putting all these things that you're calling smart cities are also incorporated in the development framework guidelines. So there are minimum standards. For example, each one of these settlements will come in with gas reticulation. They're coming in with fiber. Yeah? So it is not just building ugly things and then we count and we say 500,000. No. We are future-proofing these houses. So this is, so, you know, all this of waste recycling, but schools, we don't want people crisscrossing, but also we are doing public transport as well. That's why this noise about BRT. And the resistance that you hear is because there are people who are benefiting from the congestion, the chaos that is here. And those are the ones that are making a lot of noise and saying we postpone BRT and commuter rail to 10 years. Yeah? So, but we all we have to do for us is just put our heads down and walk flat out. So the buses are coming. That you can take to the bank. The trains are on the way. I can tell you that for a fact. So in Nairobi now, going to Roiro, I have built already 5 new stations. Yeah? So, Waga Kunyiha, hiyo ni leakage. Enda mwanza kununua land. So it is well, master plan. Please download it. Tell us whether there is enough open spaces. Yeah? Are they green enough? That's the kind of contribution we want. But it is already taken care of, right? And non-motorized. Non-motorized. Sasa Nairobi tumeona tumereduce parking fee. You know. Yeah,
and then
that cost the now on the KMRC, all right. What was the question? There's something about
the size of the parcel.
No, that's the third one.
That's the third one.
For the KMRC was
minimum size of the parcel.
Yeah.
the third question.
KMRC.
KMRC was about, you talked about money for on-lending,
Yes.
but not securitization. And what's the term of the 7-year loan? You mentioned 3% for 30 years for the social housing? What is it for the affordable housing?
So
is it also a 30 years?
So yes, so KMRC at the moment is sitting at 20 years, all right? And I said at the moment, based on sort of what kind of spread we are giving banks, plus you know the margin and the credit spread, we're looking at about 9 to 10% over.
Sorry, all in costs, 9 to 10%.
Yes, 9 to 10%.
Everything.
Now the actual rate.
So
The rate hasn't been agreed on, so but we are 9 to 10%.
can we negotiate an all-in cost?
So the one you can negotiate with me, because that one I can tell you, the 3% we talked about, the 7% is all in, including insurance, by the way.
Wow.
Okay.
So tafadhali nyinyi, I want you to go to the altar kwa mkubali gospel, mwende mwambie watu wengine waache kupiga huko nje. Minimum parcel, I don't have minimum parcel. Of land. No, we don't have minimum parcel. My friend, I need, if you can build 10 affordable homes, it's okay. If we all build 10, mingi. The only minimum aspect that comes in is that for me to commit to give you off-site infrastructure, then it has got to be a meaningful size, right? Now, Gerald, and I'm going to throw my friend Mwaura under the bus here quickly, allow me, moderator. Now, I have an opinion, but maybe you can tell us why the technology is expensive. But just from a common sense perspective, you know, these plans require scale. If you're doing one house for a machine that is running 24 hours, and consuming all that energy, there's no way they're going to produce cheaper. Right? So by leveraging large economies of scale, Gerald, we are also going to see the cost coming down. The other answer is today, we need the architects that are in here to embrace those technologies. We also want, and that's why we signed with the TVET colleges, to start training our artisans and all these people that are more than the architects, the ones that are on site, to start using these technologies. Because at the moment, Mwaura, I don't know whether it is true, it's very expensive to get some of those people, but I don't know. You want to add one or two?
Thank you, Waga. Yes. I think, yes, it is a game of economies of scale. That's point number one. I can tell you we have EPS plant and we operate at 25% capacity, which means I have 75% idle capacity. Yeah, so you can imagine if I fill that capacity, how the price can come down. But I can tell you why we have done big projects where we are at almost full capacity, we brought the price down. We did a housing project for 850 units, and we delivered them at 36,000 per square meter finished.
Okay.
And I don't think Stone can do that in 9 months.
Thanks. That's
the last question. The issue of people in Kibera living
and leasing out.
The only thing I can tell you is that, you know, it's obviously a challenge for us, but that is not going to stop us from building the houses. The only thing we can do is to try and improve, and also ensure that as many of them are getting houses. So one of the things, and also, if I don't build houses for you, you're the one who's going to go stay there. So that's why we are ensuring that we're not only doing social housing, we're doing social housing, affordable housing, and high-end housing, so that everybody is included. But we're going to leverage technology. Yeah, we've said we're putting fiber into these settlements. Part of that is we want to put biometric identification if you're going into that house. But it's not a perfect plan, what we have. And we're not building this program to address all issues. We know there's going to be the exception, but let it work for the majority of our people, and then we fix those other issues as we go along. Yeah? Chelsea, did you want to add something? Sorry, moderator, now we have to take it over.
Yes.
No, thanks. Yeah, my name is Samuel Chelsea. I'm working with the PS on this program. I think the only thing that we've got to say, as we've worked on this in the background, is the cynicism that we have, to me, is something that is really sad. And I work in the US in housing and housing finance, and all I can say to you, a cynic never did anything. So there's a question here about financing and whether Chinese are able to do all these things. We've had meetings with people who are saying to us, look, this particular plan is the best conceived housing plan we've seen in the whole of Africa. These are developers who have built thousands of houses in this continent. what they're doing with us is they're engaging us on what works. We are very busy trying to knock ourselves down about how money will be stolen, how things will be done, but in the meantime, our people are still suffering. Okay? All I can say is that let's be less cynical, let's be part of the solution of the problem. And that's all I would say to us, because at the end of the day, a cynic never did anything for anybody. And so that is the message to all of us. We have spent a lot of time, we don't have all the answers, we are not perfect, but I think this is a well-conceived plan, and let's give it a chance. If people steal, we hope they will not. We are trying to make sure it doesn't happen, but the cynicism to me is not that result. As somebody who's trying to better, we are part of that 1%, right? The people who are struggling are my wholesale, my watchman. When we talk to them, they say, please, make this happen. Don't talk to the talking heads who are telling us what should not happen with them. They need and they're suffering. I'm sorry, when I Kunyiha. Those houses people are living in are deplorable. You know, we're talking about Buja and these houses. People live in Kangemi, people live in shanties. That's where people live. Let's get a solution for that.
Thank you so much. And I'm actually with him on that, in the sense that even when we are stealing and we have our negative stories, I'm working on a project in the health sector now, and the one thing on the ground is everybody among the big four, everybody agrees and accepts that NHIF, universal cover for everybody, has made a difference. And that's the kind of change that even with all the challenges that we are hoping to see in this space as well, that we can, the good will definitely outweigh the bad. Now, Mr. Mshai, answer a question and closing remark, and then Austin and closing remark, and very quickly we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. So I think I must start by defending our developers. We are being hit by Chassia directly. The PS will talk about other people. But I think two things, which is good, and I think that's what the purpose of these forums are for. PS, you said it's a private sector-driven agenda. That's what we're trying. And the government has come together with a proposal and put together, and I think, like people have said, it's a good proposal. Like we said, private developers want to develop, want to build houses. But surely if you brought us a proposal to give comments, you cannot then bar us from making comments. So we need to be heard. Our comments, I don't think anybody here, at least in our developers, I've not heard any developer saying, let's not do affordable housing. We've just said, these are the problems we can see. And so and they might be problems, and we might say sometimes, you know, when we are building, we can see a problem is going to come, but we are like, we'll fix it when we get there. That's okay. Government has the right to do that. And our thing is just to comment and just point out where we see the issues are.
2 minutes.
And hopefully they'll be heard. Yeah. So since I have 2 minutes only, but I'll just talk about the fund and what the issue from private sector has been around the fund. The main one, I think somebody's mentioned, there's a moral hazard around the fund, which we have raised. And I think the biggest one we have, if people build houses and they're empty and they can't be sold, there is no government that is going to give anybody a check and tell him, these are the empty houses, please take this check. And if they do, well, Omar over there will be on their case. Will be seriously on their case. Because either the house will have been poorly built, or the market is bad, or something. So that fund, it works as a mortgage. I think as a mortgage, it's a great idea. But to guarantee a developer, although we are developers, it would be nice for us, to guarantee a developer, the moral hazard is huge. And like we said in Kenya, because you'll be paying for empty houses. The issue would have been the houses are empty either because the quality is bad, location is bad, or the market, something has happened in the market, the general market. That's why the house is empty. So if we are using people's ring-fenced funds to buy empty houses, there's just a huge moral hazard, which to me it's an issue around that. I think the second thing is, which Omar mentioned, I think the problem is that I've heard, and this from other private sector places, we have tea pickers. Among the many employees we have that I've mentioned, includes people who are picking tea, includes our construction workers, includes all those guys. This fund is not quite, it's more of a circle, that's how you describe it. It's more of a circle, it is not so much transferring wealth. Michael Joseph, I think the most highly paid Kenyan, not Michael Joseph, what's his name, Bob Collymore, he's going to pay 5,000 Bob a month. That's his maximum. So it's neither here nor there for them. But for the guy who's picking tea, the laborer, I think you correctly said, people are borrowed up to 30%. So they are really worried about it. But they are the same people we want to go back and take the mortgage. So one of the ideas we had is how can we encourage the housing circle? Because they exist. So instead of government say taking it, how do we get these guys to put it in the circle? And finally, the final issue is the economic one around the fund. So the fund is taken from you. You know, you pay in money, but you're getting loans at 3%, 7% is what they're giving. There's a return that the fund is going to give. The return is going to be below that 7%. So it's going to be below market rate. So if you're taking from me what money I would have put in a pension, or in NSSF, or something else, I'm actually the one who's paying for it. So there's a loss, there's an economic loss to all the, what we call them, the wage earners. Because the interest, they are subsidizing the interest rate. In many countries, the interest rate is subsidized by the government. Now it is your fund that is going to be subsidizing the interest rate. Finally, I think we want to start building affordable houses, and I like your idea. If we had done 4999, that would be so happy. We want to start those. I visited Turkey last year. They did 800,000 houses in 15 years. We can start. But we don't need to start with 100,000. We need to start. I think we told you, if we got Kotaekas in Park Road, we would have built already those couple of houses that are done where there is service land. So we need to, one of the things we need to do is how do we phase into this thing so that we start with 1,000 a month, or 1,000 a year, 1,000 a month, then we'll get to 10,000 eventually.
All right, thanks.
And he still wants me to be PS. And I don't get a one-way ticket back to Joburg. You know, it's I want me to get fired.
Austin, very quickly, you have 2.5 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for PS. I've been in a number of your sessions and they're always very engaging. As banks and mortgage institutions, what I can tell you is we are very supportive. Stanbic is already in as a member of the KMRC. We've already put in our interest. I'm actually having the team in my office this week to do our due diligence on the mortgage group, to start seeing how much of the refinancing I can be able to get to start on lending to Kenyans once the houses are ready. So immediately the money comes in. And I like the fact that KMRC also just allowed us not to just use our existing books, but also use money to get in new mortgages. Because for us banks, looking at the survey that was done by the appointed consultants, there have not been very many houses actually in the market for sale under 5 million. So if you look for banks, mortgages of 3 million and below, you will not find them. You find them in circles where probably incremental houses. But the moment to be able to start seeing them and be able to get it and get there, we have this money on board and all the regulations of course. I think it's also appreciated because we've been given an opportunity to say, to make a say in how KMRC is going to be run. So that's quite a good thing for us. What I request you is to just make sure the developers are happy, because I can't finance if they're not happy. They must produce the houses.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Sadly, I can only finance if they're happy. And remember, I have to, when you're not giving the money, so we have to back them up. So they must gain confidence to be able to have us to back them up. Because if they don't have confidence, they will not come for backing from us. And also, once they get that confidence, we also need to be able to help them to finance the off-takers and reduce their risks on losing money through the process. So thank you very much, and it's a very good program. I hope we actually actualize it and get on the ground as soon as possible.
Thank you, Austin. Give him a big hand. How many bankers are here? Financial institutions? No, I'm just wondering, you agree with what Austin is saying, right? Oh, there they are. Yeah, for the most part, you agree with what Austin? Yes, hands up. So, a good representation. Mr. PS, one word of closing. Literally just one word. I know you've tried to take over.
Right. I'm going to end on this note. This program is a good program. It's not a perfect program, but it's a good program. I've been in project finance structures. I see my friend from Stanbic here. They'll tell you that if you can be able to de-risk the investors, and we as government have shown that we're very serious about it by taking the market risk, which is where the biggest challenge lies. Our SMEs, they employ 80% of our people. This program is pro-SMEs. We have ring-fenced, as I said, and we have done what is called a determination. So there are certain products, as much as even if you tell me they are free, see from where, we want to do them here, right? Because we want to shore up our SME, especially our Tuakali people. As I said, Park Road, all the doors are going to be made by 3, whatever, our Ngong Road, wengine Kariobangi, na wengine sijui wapi, Kamukunji, yeah? Sinks, all of them are going to be done here. So, I think if we all moved away from the noise, and we all put our hands together and our heads together, right? Let's dignify our people. I have been to those places, Kunyiha, and next time I want you to come with me, because you've said the houses, our people, of course people don't live in the open air, yeah? But I can tell you, some of those people are better off living in the open air. Some of our majority of our people live very badly. And that, by the way, has an impact. Every 5 years we fight, and you think it's tribalism. No, there's no tribalism, ladies and gentlemen. People have nothing to lose. They are dangerous because that's why they can be radicalized very easily. So this issue, we need to address it a bit more seriously and not just saying, 10 years a month. It's not going to bankrupt you, but it's going to help solve a lot of our problems. I have seen a little girl, I have 2 girls. I have seen a little girl. We went to visit, what do you call this place, near Pipeline. And you could see that girl, she has seen too much. She lives in a very small house with uncles, brothers, and whatever, in a one-room house. I lived like that in Kaptembo, Nakuru. My mom and dad, they had a bazia there, and I lived with my cousin. I know what it is to talk about dignity, right? Our majority of our people don't live in dignity, and our children have seen too much at a very early age. So, my friends, this is a passionate request to you. Let us not say that I'm not my brother's keeper. Yeah? Let us be our brother's keeper. We fix this problem, we grow our economy, right? And you make some bit of money as well while doing it, while at it, right? So God bless you. Thank you very much. Go to our website, give us your comments. We are not averse to criticism, but the only thing that we don't want to do is don't slow us down, as we will move. And then if we move, now we have partners who are coming. Musiseme ati au kuketa kwa watu ambao wanataka kufanya nyumba ndogo ndogo. Pia hizo ziko, wewe enda ujenge, lakini for us to be able to dent this problem, massaging our way out of it is not an option. We have to go for the big bang. Thank you and God bless.
Does the website give a timeline for what development we can expect in the near future? Milestones or anything like that?
So window 1 closes on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
So you go for Valentine's date and you have not registered,
you have left out of window one.
You will have enough money for the next Valentine.
Okay.
So please register now.
All right.
But then window 2, I think, starts in March. Yeah, window 2 is going to start in March.
Okay.
But window 1 allows us to now have what is called direct negotiation with serious people. Yeah? And then we can map out. And by the way, when you go to the portal to register, because the portal now people know it is there, right? Register, but also tell us where you want the house. Because that also is going to be an important piece of data so that we know where Kenyans want to, where they want to live. Thank you.
All right. And now, with that, he's going to stick around. So, you, for those with burning questions, you can ask him later. You got something out of this, didn't you? Yes. Didn't you? Yes. Then let's give our speakers a very big hand. Yes, we are going to ask that we always do this because we cannot finish a topic like this in one sitting. So the next is we're going to be checking the milestones. So you're going to promise to come back towards the end of the year and you can tell us how much progress you've made and whether Mushai has graduated to actually feel that he can work with you. Yes, so we're going to reconvene once we've made some progress and then we can, as we do with other sectors, assess how far we've gone. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. It has been a really, really good session, like we always do. I hope to see you next month for the next one. Go well, have drinks, and
Street Executives.